Good morning, everyone. I am the greatest. How many of you remember hearing those words? Who said those words? Any of you remember?
Muhammad Ali.
All right. Muhammad Ali. Here was a young man who stood before a group. No one in all the history of boxing, no one experienced or older boxing people had ever heard anyone say that. But he stood up on that podium and said to all the world, I am the greatest. I'm not into sports, so I didn't pay attention to it. Didn't mean a thing to me. This morning I'm going to share with you 3 angels that came into my life that helped me to overcome my obstacles and become a better person. I have a card here. I'm going to read this. This was given to me this morning by Wanda Faye, and she wrote it. Angels really walk the earth and leave a very good trail. They lead you into happiness, a road you can prevail. A road of perseverance can also be obtained, but only through awareness can an angel make a change. I read that because it sort of falls into play with my conversation with you this morning. I grew up in East LA, in the projects. And there's not a whole lot of positive in East LA. You have dreams and you tell people about the things that you want to do. And they in turn tell you, oh my God, you're wasting your time. What are you going to write about? Who would be interested in reading anything you have to write? Girl, you're too short to be a model. They don't have black models. I mean, anything that I happen to mention I wanted to do, somebody had something to say. And you know the strange thing is, after a while, we accept those negatives. Can somebody tell me why it is that we will listen to the negative instead of reaching for the possibilities? It's so easy to accept somebody telling you what you can't do instead of realizing if it came here, maybe God is telling you you can do it. Yes. You just need to reach out. Yes. How many of you had that experience? I mean, it happens to most of us. I was fortunate. I'm going to tell you about my first angel. I call him an angel. I also call him a surrogate father, Mr. Ralston. Everybody called him Mr. Ralston, but he was really a minister. Mr. Ralston, for whatever reason, saw something in me. I'm not sure what. I didn't recognize it. But because of him, I got to see Swan Lake on stage. Because of him, I got to go to a camp for a week at no cost to my mom. Because of him, I had the opportunity to learn the basics of crocheting, knitting, and learning to sew and embroider. Because he saw something into me that he would actually go out and try to make a way for me to do something. Now, I was too young to recognize that maybe there was something there, and by now all the negatives had built up, so I wasn't seeing anything. I was just grateful that I got to do those things. In 1975, my husband had this wonderful idea. Let's get out of LA and move to Sacramento. And I asked why. And he said, because if we stay here, things are going to be going downhill. Now, the first thing out my mouth, you just want to get me by myself where I won't have any family or friends to support me. Have you ever met my husband? That's 6'3", and he can give you that look that says, only you would come up with an idea like that. But you know what? Coming to Sacramento was the best thing that happened to me. Had I stayed in LA, I'd probably be sitting in front of the television right now. And maybe I'd be in a robe, waiting for the next check to come. But coming to Sacramento made the difference. Because in Sacramento, I met my second angel. And her name was Velma Stokely. Now, before meeting Mrs. Stokely, I had an opportunity to be promoted on my job. And you guess what happened? I said, I can't do that. I've never done that before. I don't know how. I should have said, thank you, and thanks for having faith in me, and can you help me, show me what I need to do. Needless to say, the job went to somebody else who accepted the challenge. So coming to Sacramento, meeting Mrs. Stokely, who was a woman who, again, saw something in me, she helped me get over a huge number of obstacles. Because you know what? Everyone needs someone to see something in them. You need to find someone who's doing what you want to do and ask them, can you help me? Recognizing that their time and their support is valuable. So you better be listening, taking notes. But most important, take action on what they're sharing with you. Don't just sit there and listen and then go on and sit down. Mrs. Stokely was one of those kind of people. When I said I couldn't do something, she said, oh, no, honey, no. That's not how it works. I am here. I know you can do this, and I will help you to do it. How's Mrs. Stokely? I got involved in so many organizations, I still wonder, how did I manage it? Because of Mrs. Stokely, I stepped out of my comfort zone. When Mrs. Stokely said, you have got to join these organizations because you know what? You need to meet people who are doing things that you're not. You need to find out what the rest of the world is doing. How many of you refuse to go beyond what you feel safe in? Think about it. When I wanted to write, I accepted that I couldn't do it. When I wanted to model, I accepted I was too black and short. When I wanted to dance, I accepted that I danced like I had a board stuck up my I'm going to tell you, people will put you down. You got to be careful who you share your dreams with. You got to find that person. I know each one of you have something that you really want to do, but you're sitting on it because you're afraid you can't do it. Find you a Velma Stokely who will say, that is not acceptable, and I am here to pick you up if you fall. I am grateful to her because she opened so many doors for me. It was up to me to walk through the door, but she helped to open those doors for me. Now my third angel was actually two, but they came together at the same time. That was when I came to Toastmasters. And I met Dick Henderson and Marion Wells. Again, they saw something in me because I was sitting off to the back, being very quiet, don't want anybody to notice me. Because as bad as I wanted to stand up there and speak, I was scared to death of speaking. They were willing to work with me. to speak in my club, but to walk outside and join district and do things at district, and go outside that and speak at different organizations. They pushed me because they believed me. And when I stumbled, they were there to help hold me up so I didn't fall flat on my face. You need people like that in your life to help you overcome those obstacles, because they are sometimes so insurmountable. But if you got someone there that's willing to walk with you, you can do it. There's nothing in here that you can't do if you make up your mind that's what you want to do. I am very happy to say that I have achieved quite a few of my goals. And there have been some people, my husband included, I have to remind him, he may be getting old, but I'm not. In case you didn't know it, I'm a great-grandmother. But you know what? I am not too old. I still have goals, and I plan on achieving them before the good Lord calls me home. Now, you may be wondering what all this had to do with Ali. Let me share with you something that he said. And I have to read this because I don't want to mess it up. I have wrestled with an alligator. I've done tussle with a whale. I done battened, handcuffed lightning, thrown a thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick. Bad, bad, fast. Last night I cut the lights in my bedroom, hit the switch, and was in bed before the room was dark. Fast. And you, George Foreman, all you chumps are gonna know, gonna bow when I put him. All of you know, I know you got him. I know you done picked him. But the man is in trouble, because I'm gonna show you how great I am. That's the attitude you need to have. When Ali fought Liston, he was the underdog. Everyone was betting on Liston. But you know the difference between the two? Ali knew he was the greatest. Liston was told he was the greatest. That is the difference. And that is what made Muhammad Ali the world champion. He was a man from Kentucky. Not the smartest, not the most educated, certainly not well versed in business, but he will go down in history as the greatest. And you, each one of you, have the same opportunity. I don't care how many times you fail. I don't care how many times I fall down flat on my face. I'm going to keep getting up until I reach that goal, and I too, and you as well, can stand up and